back of the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew. And watching his luck was his light to love, the lady that's known as Lou.
When out of the night which was 50 below, and into the din and the glare, there stumbled a miner, fresh from the creeks, dog dirty, and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave,
between us